Next, we have Dr. Bishnu Paudel, President of Nepalese Association of Palliative Care. He's a professor of medical oncology, but his heart is with palliative care and has been doing palliative care from very beginning. Has done a lot of work in palliative care and taking palliative care forward. So Dr. Bishnu.
Thank you, Chairperson. In fact, I'm lucky that the chairperson of the session is Professor Raj Gopal, Professor Raj Gangul. We have already heard him talking how the palliative care importance. And the tears coming from his eyes actually were coming from his heart. So he is the man of palliative care in Nepal. Thank you. All respected ladies and gentlemen. Just before we listen to the very beautiful talk by Dr. Maya, because palliative care is very economical. It saves money. It doesn't spend the money. Like I'm an oncologist. To get the cancer treatment, it's very expensive. If you get the radiotherapy machines, millions, billions, chemotherapy, expensive. But sometimes when we can say that you don't need further treatment, there are few words will save millions of rupees. That's the importance of palliative, which is very, very economical, very life-saving. Now going back to the palliative care in Nepal and NEPCare. In Nepal, different people and different organizations were providing palliative care from their own level. And we people who were working in Nepal thought that if we come under an umbrella and share our thoughts, share our experience, then maybe it will help us to move palliative care forward more easily. So with that motion, the people and organizations working in the palliative care in Nepal 2009 shut together and formed a volunteer charity organization, non-profitable organization, which is known as the Nepalese Association of Palliative Care, NEPCare, in 2009. And at that time, it was very much helped to form this organization. At the time, it was called INCTR, International Cancer Research and Treatment. But nowadays, it is a Two World Cancer Collaboration. They help us to form this organization. After forming the NEPCare, we people who are involved in the NEPCare, involved in the different activities of palliative care, from policy level, drug availability level, and educational level. Previously, education, palliative care training, as Dr. Professor Raj has already said, that it was started from the Patan, but later on that it was conducted by the NEPCare, but it was held by the Two Worlds funding annually. And later on we requested government and handed over that program to the government. And with government collaboration, we have been running that palliative care training annually. And even we have drafted the with the help of the government, we have drafted the orientation program for the palliative care, and our palliative care friends who are in NEPCare went to the different regions of the Nepal to provide the palliative care. Likewise, in palliative care, to provide the palliative care, drug availability was very important. And we work hard to make one of the most important drugs to provide the palliative care, morphine, available in Nepal. So with working jointly together, we were successful that morphine is available in Nepal now. All form of morphine. It was also already told by my speakers, when the consumption of the morphine was 0.001 milligram per capita sometime back, but now it is 0.9. It has gone up. So that's one of the indications that the palliative care is accessible. Because I myself remember, because I was working in one of the hospice, there's a called Thankot Hospice. Sometimes patients used to request me, doctor, why don't you kill me? Give me some, I heard that there are some medicine to kill the patient. Sometimes family people request because of the pain. But after availability of that morphine, that sort of a story we are no more hearing. So likewise, we're involved in the research activities also. Nowadays, everybody is carrying mobile. I think everyone's pocket has a mobile. Every patient, every family, even poor people have mobile. So with the Americans, NCI, and the University of Virginia, we collaborated to explore whether the palliative care can be provided to home care, to basic rural areas through the mobile. We did the research and the feasibility and accessibility of providing palliative care in the home care level is accepted. And now we are in the phase of developing that mobile app to make them available. So likewise, we were working different steps. And then policy level, a long time back in 2017 also, we worked to draft the palliative care strategy and handed over to the government, but due to some reason, it got delayed. And again, the ministry has requested the WHO, World Health Organization, and with the support of WHO, World Health Organization, we have again drafted the strategy, and it has handed over to the government. Very soon it will get endorsed. Now coming back to the Shunita project, because in his strategy also, one of the backbone, Dr. Dan has already mentioned in his presentation, the backbone of palliative care is to provide the rural areas. Yes, we have now some palliative care activities in capital city, Kathmandu, and the Pokhara, then Chittagong, and some cities. But we all know the majority of people are still living in the rural areas. So until and unless we provide the palliative care to the doorstep, to the rural area, majority of the people will not get the palliative care. So different organization, again, Patan Academy has already shown the Makwanpur model to provide the palliative care in rural areas also, and others also, some has done, but Shunita project has come with that vision. And then it has already presented about Shunita project since yesterday, but still, it has passed the knowledge and skill of palliative care from the lowest level, female community health volunteers to nurses and doctors in the different parts of the Nepal. And they have, Shunita project has done the research, and we have now data also, where palliative care is lacking, who are needing the palliative care. So we have done the data to find out research, to find out the palliative care burden also, and to solve that burden, and Shunita project has been conducting training and passing the knowledge and skill of the palliative care to different level of the people, from, as I said, female community health workers to students, teachers, health workers, and it has tremendously helped to impart the knowledge and deliver the palliative care services to the rural area. This is very, very important. And during this Shunita project, there are a lot of resources also came. And the toolkit, which was in English, it was translated into Nepali, and it was very useful. Even when I was involved in the different palliative care training program in Nepal, I was using English reference manual. But this toolkit, which was translated in Nepali, was very helpful, because some people, they are not very comfortable with the English. So when they have resources in their own language, it helps a lot. Likewise, we developed the measuring tool also, and now the formulary palliative care, yesterday we launched the palliative care formulary also. So this formulary also will be very helpful to provide the palliative care and training. So we have been talking about the palliative care, importance of the palliative care, and to provide the palliative care. And I don't know, yesterday I saw there were mayors and deputy mayors in this audience. I hope they are still there. Now I just want to go a bit away and give in another topic. To provide private palliative care, the monetary is not a problem. I was lucky enough to work in the higher level of the ministry level also, as a director also. So I don't know how many of you know, there is a called tobacco tax in Nepal. From tobacco, you get the tax. 25 billion, 25 arab rupiah annually collected. I was, when in the ministry before my retirement, I was the senior most and the longest serving member of that tobacco board. But we were spending only 25 crore, 40 crore. Never it went beyond the 500 millions, 50 crore. So we were earning 25 billions, but not spending. This tobacco tax was supposed to spend to provide the care for those people who were suffering from tobacco, like cancer, heart disease, hypertension, stroke. So we have a lot of money. Money is not used. So I request if there are mayors, deputy mayors here to lobby, because from your municipality, the tax is going into the national fund. I'm sure every municipality is selling tobacco. So that tax is going. So why don't you ask your share of tax? So ask the tax with the government. We are contributing tax, so give us something back. We want to develop palliative care in our municipality. Unless we from the village level, rural level, work ourselves, it will not develop. Because ministry has its own limitation. I don't know, I'm supposed to tell it or not, because the ministry, sometimes they have so many agendas or so many things, palliative care is lost. Dr. Dan already told in the morning, we drafted the palliative care strategy in 2017 when the Gagan Thapa was a minister and got endorsed also, and now we heard that it is lost. So it happens in the ministry like that. Anyway, the new strategy has come up. Probably it's on the way, it will get endorsed. So we have to lobby ourselves. It's not the question of resources scarcity. Now, even I'll give you another interesting example. I don't know whether he is here or not. Dr. Vikas was the first man from Nepal to get the MD in palliative care from AIMS India. He came Nepal. So, and at that time, I was lucky that I was the executive director of Bhaktapur Cancer Hospital. Like Dr. Rajesh Gangol, he has all 4 chambers of the heart for the palliative care. At least my heart, 2 chambers for the palliative care. So anyhow I wanted to have him. So there was a lot of hurdle, but I managed to convince him, request him, and he joined the Bhaktapur Cancer Hospital. Likewise, the second person, Dr. Rajkumar, he passed the palliative care from the Pachan. Again, Rajkumar is also lucky, and Dr. Rajesh, the man of the palliative care, so he hired him. Now there is a third person who has done the MD palliative care from AIMS and has come back to Nepal, and he's asking me all the time, sir, I want to work in the field of palliative care. Isn't there any work to do? And now I'm not in the position to influence there. And the man with the MD palliative care do not get the job. So this is the thing. So we have the resources, we have the training people also, we have the money also, we have to love it. What I realized after working decades in the ministry and the government level, I want to tell all our Nepalese colleagues, money, resources are not a problem for Nepal. We don't know how to ask it. We don't know how to grab it. You have to go and grab it. There is. You are paying the tax for that, and you are not using. So for local people, local leaders, I want to stimulate you to get that money and provide palliative care in your situation. I think we are getting too late. There are a lot of stories to tell, but I think it will be time-consuming. So I want to thank Sunita Project and Dr. Kathy, especially from Sunita Project, and British Grant, all, and giving me the opportunity from the NAPCare, myself and Roshni Madam. We 2 people were involved in the Sunita Project to help it, and we are running quarterly meeting also. It was called task force meeting to share the development of the Sunita Project to the ministry level people and other people also. Once again, I want to thank INF, EMS, and Dr. Kathy for giving me and Roshni and NAPCare the opportunity to get involved. Is there anything in the future, NAPCare will always be happy to work along with the INF and EMS and all the people. Thank you very much.
So much, Dr. Vishnu, for that message.